I start a sentence, then fold it mid-breath. You look up and everything goes thin. Not fear exactly, more like a hand held still. Something at the edge of my mouth stays there. I know the shape, I know it too well. If I say it, it changes its name. If I don't, it keeps pressing in. I keep choosing smaller words, safer pauses. You ask me and I almost give in. But then that tiny pause takes over, and I am back to the same unfinished. I mean, not that. I mean, you know, no, not that either. Just this strange leaning inward and stopping, like my own voice won't step all the way out. It's close, then less close, then gone. A second, a little one. I lose. I could hand you the clean version, the easy shape. Instead I keep the edges hidden in plain sight. And still you stay there like a question that I can't answer and can't leave alone. Steady with me. You did not make a big shape of things, you just stayed. That meant more than I knew then. We did not chase much, we did not turn every feeling into a lesson. You could be simple with me, I could be simple back. That was rare and I felt it. I think about how calm it was, how I did not have to guess as much, how your words could land and rest. No drama, no test, just enough honesty to breathe. I used to think love had to move hard. Now I see it can be quiet. It can hold, it can last. It can leave a person kinder. So I keep that memory gently, not because it hurt, because it was good, because for a while how to stay. You sit inside me like glue in clear water. Not loud, just changing the shape of the room. My ribs learn your silence as if it were weather, softening edges, making the hard parts move. A silver current around the fractured places, turning the sharpness into something round. I don't call it rescue, I only feel the pressure, like dawn arriving where the dark was found. There's a kind of mercy in the way you linger, like warm rain held in the throat of the air. It gathers my panic into smaller pieces, puts my shaking back in a language I can bear. When the floor in me splits into narrow distances, you're the quiet math that keeps them aligned. Not a door, not a shelter, not the name I can hold, just a hidden tide that comes at the right time. You are the hush in the broken prism, the color that survives the cut. You make my ghost sit still for a minute. You teach the storm to open up. Your shape passed through my inner weather, and I don't ask it to stay the same. If comfort can be a field of clear reflections, then you are the reason I remember my name. You turn toward me, and everything slows down inside me. Not empty, not calm, just held. I feel the second hand forget its work. I feel my thoughts lose their edges. What was sharp goes soft, what was certain starts to lean. I am here in the exact place where wanting becomes waiting, where waiting becomes a kind of prayer, not spoken, just kept. Your near silence changes the room in me, the way a pulse changes under skin. It is not a storm, it is not a fall, it is the long reach before either one. I keep arriving at the same feeling, with different names for it, with different ways to stand in it. Still, again, still. Something in me opens and stays open, not because I told it to, not because I could stop it, but because this moment asked for that. If I move too fast, I'll lose the shape of this. If I name it too soon, it breaks its own spell. So I let the feeling circle, let it return in new clothes. I let it say the same truth with another breath, with another weight, with another kind of almost. You remain close, and I become quieter, not smaller, quieter. The whole world narrows to a single notice that this is happening, that I am inside it, that I am not finished being changed by it. I do not need more than this. I need this exact unfolding. I need the tender pressure of now, the way it keeps beginning, the way it never quite leaves. I said I would go, not yet. The hour moved on, and I stayed with it. You asked for a time, I gave you a pause, then another, then a little more. It kept getting later in ways I could not name. The answer went thin and the edge stayed soft. By then it was later, later than before. I still had no reason, and I gave you none. The day wore down quietly. My words did too, one by one. We set the table back in order, folded the notes and stacked the cups. The window held a patient morning, and both of us were done enough. You took the book by the green chair, I kept the key by the bowl. The hall was clear and easy to cross, shoes by the door, coats on their hooks. We named the things that still belonged, and left them where they had been found. Your voice stayed level, plain and steady. Mine answered in the same soft tone. No edge remained in either sentence, no need to circle what was finished. We chose the path with least friction and walked it measured pace. The room kept its shape behind us. The day went on with open hands. At the corner we paused for a moment, then moved on in separate directions. The air held still, then changed by degrees. A small clean gap between our steps. Nothing was lost that had to be named. Nothing was owed, and nothing was asked.
I do not need the whole map, just the shape you keep in your hands. A pause before my mouth hardens, the tiny flinch I cannot hide. The room goes loose around me. When you catch the drift I bury, like I left a light on somewhere, and you found it by instinct. It is almost embarrassing how fast the armor gets bored when your attention meets mine and does not ask me to perform. I keep a shelf of careful answers for people who want a clean version. But around you my thoughts unclench and land in their own language. There is relief in being legible without turning myself inside out. No witness stand, no polished speech, just the raw outline and your hand fitting it. I feel less like a problem, more like weather that makes sense. The pressure drops, the static leaves, and I remember I can be known before I explain a thing. Your mouth stays still, mine answers the same. Nothing enters here, nothing leaves. I know you know, we keep it here. No need for words, no need for proof. Your eyes remain calm, my face gives nothing. The space is agreed, the meaning shared. One silence, two keepers, a mutual rest, unsaid but exact. You left your mug on the shelf by the sink, half full, gone cold beside the dish rack. No slam door, no final sentence, just your keys missing from the hook. I check the hall like it might answer, like the tiles could tell me what changed. The room kept its shape around me, calm as a lake after the wind moves on. We still split the groceries by habit, paper bag for you, cloth bag for me. I stood in the aisle with the oranges, counting what we used to choose together. Your jacket stayed on the chair that night, folded small in the lamplight. Nothing broke, nothing burned, and that was the part I couldn't hold. Maybe some endings don't need a reason, maybe they just loosen thread by thread. I won't make a courtroom of our silence, I won't turn the past into a fight. If you were already halfway gone, you were honest in the only way you knew. So I'll leave the glass where it is and let the morning find its own shape. I found it folded in a chair, sun on the fabric, stale and sweet. A spoon left standing in a glass, one blue fly circle in the heat. Your hand on the back of my neck, like a coin pressed into skin. The room was small as a held breath, and the air knew how to keep things in. A radio murmured through the wall, some song with the door half shut. I could taste the dust on the blinds and the peach skin under my thumb. You laughed at a crack in the tile, then turned your face toward the fan, and I swear the whole day leaned to fit inside your calendar lived in that room, no clock could have found the way. Just the click of the spoon in the glass, and the bright, unbroken shade. I still see the sleeve on your arm, the thin seam crossing the
Nothing before it, nothing after. Just the second I was in it.
I was rinsing a plate when it found my hands again. Small as a paper cup, sharp as rain on tin. It slipped through the day like a spoon in a coat. And there it was, in the bend of my throat. On the bus, by the window, by the cracked red seat, it sat down beside me with its muddy shoes and teeth. I looked straight past it, thought I was done for good. But it turned its face, and I knew it would. Not a storm, just a door unlatching. Not your name, just the shape it made. I kept walking, it kept matching. One old spark in a new cut shade. Shows up sideways in the steam off the sink, in the nick on my thumb, in the time it takes to blink. I don't chase it down, I let it pass through. A thought came back and then it changed into you. You come in quiet, and I settle down. All that weight I carry starts to fall around. You don't have to fix me, you just stay with me. And somehow that is everything. It lets me finally breathe. If the room goes heavy, you make it light again. If I lose my footing, you help me start over again. You stay, and I feel okay. You stay, and the dark gives way. You stay, that's enough for me. You stay, and I can just be. You stay. I used to run from silence, now I let it land with you. I don't have to always have a plan. You hear what I can't say,
and dances soft and true. Every little broken part starts believing you. If the room goes heavy, you make it light again. If I lose my footing, you help me start over again. You stay, and I feel okay. You stay, and the dark gives way. You stay, that's enough for me. You stay, and I can just be. You stay. No grand speech, no perfect line, just your steady voice saying I'm still fine. And when I drift, you pull me in, back to the place where I can begin. You stay, and I feel okay. You stay, and the dark gives way. You stay, that's enough for me. You stay, and I can just be. You stay. You slid in like you'd been here. No big scene, no heavy lift, just a look across the room and it clicked like that. You talk, I just get it, don't need to fan anything back. Half a joke, half a grin, and I'm already laughing. Yeah, already laughing. You don't make it hard, you don't make me guess, you just land where I am. We can sit in silence, and it still feels full. No weird pause, no proving, just two people being cool. You say, come here, I'm already halfway there. Like we've done this before, in some other air. Feels like we've done this before. Same little smile, same easy glance, like we know the dance. Maybe that's the whole thing. Nothing has to be forced. No fireworks, no speech, just your hand, my pulse. And the room can keep moving. We're still in our own lane. You say one small thing, and I'm right there again. No chase, no act, no trying too much, just that easy touch. I folded the note, it fit in my palm. I left it on wood by the sink. The cup stayed warm, the day kept moving. My name in dust on the shelf. I stood there still and let it be. No fight in my hands, no edge in my chest. I can let it pass, I can let it pass. The river knows where to go. I unclench slow, I unclench slow. What leaves me
was never mine. The bus came late, then came again. I did not chase what turned away. A screen went dark, a door stayed shut. I breathed the air and stayed. It was not mine to keep in place, so I put it down and watched it rest. I can let it pass, I can let it pass. The river knows where to go. I unclench slow, I unclench slow. What leaves me was never mine. Rain on the sill, one clean sound, no asking now, no pulling back. I can let it pass, I can let it pass. The river knows where to go. I unclench slow, I unclench slow. What leaves me was never mine. You said my name like a spark and laughed like you knew it. I held that look too long, like I could live inside it. Your hand brushed mine, and that was enough. I learned your shape in one quick touch. You turned away smiling like you'd done this before. I kept the whole moment behind a locked door. No promises made, no reasons to stay. Just 2 miles of silence and a half-finished day. If I see you again, I won't act surprised. I already know how it feels to be tried by one small hello, and the way it can hurt when something so brief still changes the first word. It comes back clean, like a name I forgot. Not a thought, more a shadow of thought. It leans on the room and slips through the seams. A soft return in the edge of a dream. I don't call it, it answers. I don't reach, it gathers. Here again, that old pull. Here again, quiet and full. In my chest,
like a wave. It wears no face, just a turning inside. A field in the dark that refuses to die. It hangs in the air, then folds into skin. A little spark with nowhere to end. I don't chase it, it circles. I don't hold it, it lingers. Here again, that old pull. Here again, quiet and full. In my chest, it takes shape. Here again, like a wave. Not gonna just fold it away. Not bars, just making a way. A trace in the seams of my name. A hush that arrives all the same. Here again, that old pull. Here again, quiet and full. In my chest, it takes shape. Here again, like a wave. You look at me like rain on the sill, like a hand on the door still, like a name I almost know, but it slips when I get close. I keep reaching for the shape of a feeling I can't name. It sits there in the room, then it changes with the moon. Your laugh hits soft like the end of a storm, maybe, or the first crack in the ice. I can't tell which one it is. When you brush past my sleeve, it's like my chest forgot the code, and my feet won't let me go. Could be a spark, could be a bruise, could be the thing I'm scared to lose. Could be the start, could be the drift. I can't decide what this is. I keep it folded in my palm, like a note I never sent, like a key with no known lock, like a prayer I don't expect. You say my name and I go quiet in the dark, like the room is holding breath, like it knows more than my heart. If I call it love, it changes. If I call it nothing, it stays. Half a yes, half a maybe, standing in the doorway. So I let it be unformed, let it tremble, let it bend, like a song I haven't learned, but I know by the end.
We sat in silence by the sink. 2 dirty plates, 1 chipped blue rim. Your sleeve brushed mine then slid away. The fridge light hummed across your skin. You turned the tap and watched it run, like something else could say the thing. I held my breath and let it pass, a small white cloud inside my ribs. The clock kept counting in the hall. A train rolled past without a name. You looked at me, then at the floor, and both of us stayed in the frame. It was a room made of almost, a hand half open on the table. I saw you hurt before you spoke, and mine arrived quiet and fragile. The air got thin and kind. Your face went soft at the edges. What we could not put into words sat there with us and did not leave. I picked a paint on the window frame. You traced a ring around your cup. No one was winning, no one fled. We just kept showing up enough. Then your eyes changed slow as rain, from guarded stone to something near. I let my shoulders fall at last and found you meeting me right here. The house grew large around us then, as if it knew we'd need the space. Your breath and mine began to match like 2 loose threads finding lace. It was a room made of almost, a hand half open on the table. I saw you hurt before you spoke, and mine arrived quiet and fragile. The air got thin and kind. Your face went soft at the edges. What we could not put into words sat there with us and did not leave. Later when you touched my wrist, it was not asking, not at first, just proof that somewhere under fear we still belong to this earth. I answered with a look, then stayed. No rush, no rescue, no parade, only the slow untying of everything we could not say. It was a room made of almost, a hand half open on the table. I saw you hurt before you spoke, and mine arrived quiet and fragile. The air got thin and kind. Your face went soft at the edges. What we could not put into words sat there with us and did not leave. We sat in silence by the sink, and something in us stayed awake. You answer like you know me before I say a thing. That kind of listening leaves a mark on me. You catch the pause
the way I change my tone. You make a hard day feel less on my own. And I don't have to explain, you already read the room. One look from you and the pressure loosens soon. You stay in the part of me that never gets far. You know my bad weather, and you don't move apart. You stay in the part of me that always feels near. I can go quiet for days, still feel you clear. You remember small things I forgot I said, the kind of details that live inside my head. When I lose my shape, you help me find my name. You don't chase the moment, you just meet me there the same. And I don't have to perform to keep you by my side. You made the honest version something I don't hide. You stay in the part of me that never gets far. You know my bad weather, and you don't move apart. You stay in the part of me that always feels near. I can go quiet for days, still feel you clear. If the world gets loud, you're the steady in my chest. Not a grand confession, just the truest kind of yes. You don't ask for more than I can give today. You keep the door open in your own unshowy way. You stay in the part of me that never gets far. You know my bad weather, and you don't move apart. You stay in the part of me that always feels near. I can go quiet for days, still feel you clear. It was not a name, just a shape in the room. A bowl in the sink, a crack in the moon. We moved like dust on a quiet floor. Hands found things, but we wanted less. There was no edge on the day we wore, no map in the drawer, no sign on the door. We learned the weight of a held back breath, the taste of rain before it fell. And all at once the air turned thin, a little before we knew the skin. A sleeve in the rain, a mark on glass, the sound of a door that did not last.
Someone said wait, and then was gone. But the room kept still, like it knew us wrong. Before the split, before the line, before the small uncertain signs, we were only here in a half-lit blur. No outline yet, no answer word. Now I can almost touch that shade, the soft first loss of being made, and every corner of what came near still holds a trace of back then here. I kept the ache in order, like it was teaching me a name. You left a mark in language that never learned to fade. I did not call it destiny, I did not dress it up in gold. Still every small refusal kept turning into proof. I heard it in the afterthought, in all the pauses I held close. Not everything that matters arrives with an announcement. Some moments only open by staying nearly still, and some of us keep living by reading what we feel. So let the record be uncertain, let the details drift apart. I know what changed inside me did not come empty-handed. It bent the way I measure, it softened what I knew. Even if nobody named it, it meant something to you. I don't remember what we talked about that night. Maybe nothing important, just unfinished thoughts, half-spoken sentences, small pauses between words, but somehow The silence stayed with me longer than the conversation ever could. You didn't ask for anything, didn't try to fix anything. You were just there. And maybe that was enough for someone like me. The room felt lighter without anything changing. I never noticed how rare that feeling was until much later. Some people leave a sound behind, some leave a memory. You left a calmness I still can't explain. And even now when everything feels distant, that feeling remains quietly somewhere underneath it all. The kettle cools on the stove. A spoon rests in the sink. Morning leans through the curtain, and the whole room learns to breathe. The window keeps its quiet, with the garden just outside. Leaves turn their slow pages in the first pale light. A bowl of pears on the table, one by one, soft and gold. The floorboards settle deeper as the day lets go. Your coat hangs by the doorway like it found its place at last. Nothing asks to be held now. Nothing needs to last. The light slips off the wall into the shape of evening. Dust turns gently in the air, then disappears. And the path beyond the fence keeps on without a hurry. The grass lies down, the birds drift through. So I leave the cup half full and the door on a quiet latch. The room stays with its sweetness long after I step back. The river takes the clover, the tide takes the stone, everything returns in its own time home.
Your cup still parks on the shelf, cracked rim, one blue chip gone. The spoon in the sink keeps turning toward your side. The window keeps a thumbprint at shoulder height by the latch, and the coat on the hook still holds the shape of a shrug. The floorboard knows the step, it answers before I do. There's dust in the lines where your suitcase used to lean. Salt in the seams, in the hem, in the grain. Small things keep their names after the door swings away. Salt in the seams, on my sleeves, on the pain. A little trace remains where the hands used to stay. The garden keeps one bent cane under the beans and the wire. Your name on the mailbox blurs, then comes back in rain. I find a train ticket stub folded in a winter book. No date, just a crease in the page beside it. Even the tin lid hums when the kettle starts to climb, like it learned your knock and never forgot the rhythm. Salt in the seams, in the hem, in the grain. Small things keep their names after the door swings away. Salt in the seams, on my sleeves, on the pain. A little trace remains where the hands used to stay. Last week the hammer fell from the shelf without a push. One nail kept its place and the board by the back stairs. I stood there a while with the light on the latch, and the room did that trick of holding one more breath. Salt in the seams, in the hem, and the grain. Small things keep their names after the door swings away. Salt in the seams, on my sleeves, on the pain. A little trace remains where the hands used to stay. I keep my name on the edge of the page where the fold hides first. I water the plant that leans toward the sink and never says why. The blue cup chips
at the rim by the stove still holds its place. I leave small marks in the steam on the glass, then watch them go. A chair by the door wears the shape of my coat without asking. I answer late with the kind of words that leave room to breathe. The window chain ticks once in the wind and settles again. I learn the room by the sound of its corners after everyone's gone. There are ways to keep a door on the latch and call it enough. A hand on the rail, a glance at the floor, a step held back. I set things down where the light can find them and move on slowly. It is held in place. It is allowed to stay. Nothing is forced open. Nothing is pulled apart. The quiet is kept. The edges are softened. It is left untouched. It is met with stillness. What is there is enough. What is passing is past. Hands are lowered slowly. Breath is made light. Some things are best received. Some things are best released. The shape is not corrected. The ache is not chased. It is all permitted. It is all at rest. The chair still holds your shape just a little while. Your mug left by the sink has a hairline crack. I use your side of the bed as a place for books. Your name sits in the hall like a coat I forgot. I leave the window latched, but it leans for you. The room keeps your small habits and quiet little clues.
It's a small kind of missing, a slow burn afterglow. I notice it in silence when the house moves low. A half-eaten apple, a reply I didn't send. It's a small kind of missing, and it settles in again. The kettle clicks and cools on the back of the stove. I make tea for one, then set out 2 spoons. Your laugh is not a storm, just a corner sound that finds me at the sink and then drifts back down. Nothing in the day breaks, nothing comes undone. Still some part of the evening feels arranged for one. It's a small kind of missing, a slow burn afterglow. I notice it in silence when the house moves low. A half-eaten apple, a reply I didn't send. It's a small kind of missing, and it settles in again. I'm not calling it a wound, I'm not dressing it in rain. It's only how the evening leaves your outline in the grain. It's a small kind of missing, a slow burn afterglow. I notice it in silence when the house moves low. A half-eaten apple, a reply I didn't send. It's a small kind of missing, and it settles in again. Morning comes in easy, nothing asks for more. Steps stay light and steady, day unfolds by choice. Time moves without pressure, breath by breath, that's all. One small grace beside me keeps the edges calm. Faces stay familiar, voices hold their place. Little bits of kindness rest upon the page. Nothing needs arranging, nothing needs to prove. Simple hours keep passing, and they feel like truth. Let the day be ordinary, let it come and go. Soft enough to carry, warm enough to know. I had my hand on the ledge when the moment slipped its coat and walked past me again. The kettle stayed half keen, the window held its breath like it knew what I'd seen. You were one step from the door, and I was one step from saying the thing I never said.
clock made its small round face, and I watched it turn back to the hour it almost chose. Your name crossed my tongue like a car on a wet road, and kept on moving on. Same street, same bend, same make. I stood where I stood before and called it by another name. I gathered the almost into my pocket again, sharp little coins of maybe. Then you turned and you didn't, and the room leaned in like it wanted the rest. I kept the door half open for a shape that knew the way, and forgot it at the end. You can head out now, keep the sweater on, lock the door behind you, walk slow on the way home. I left the porch light low, just enough to see. If you need to text me, you know where I'll be. Take the water with you in the last clean cup. Set your phone to silent, let the night settle up. If tomorrow feels full, take it one small step. No need to solve it tonight, no need to keep it kept. Rest your eyes for a while, let your shoulders fall. There is nothing urgent here, you have done enough for all. I will leave this note here, folded by the sink. A simple kind of good night, a softer way to think. Go on, take care, I'll be around. Morning will come slow, and the world will still be turned.